Well, before I get to number one spot, might as well do a few honorable mentions. Shrek 2. Yeah, if you love that friendly green ogre, and in the first movie, I'd say this one is just as funny. May fall a little short on some parts, but I think it's a great continuation. I mean, some people complain that the humor is not as funny, but I think it's great. I mean, they visit, obviously, a Hollywood knockoff, which is far, far away, to visit Fiona's parents. I think the concept is great. We learn a few things about the fact that her father was not too crazy about Shrek, being the husband, because, everything's all written in stone. And I think that's a great thing, that it breaks a fourth wall barrier there. And the villains, like the fairy godmother and Prince Charming, it added some great humor into it. Like, I love how it imitated how Shrek gets away, and instead of cops, it's knights, and how he imitates the O.J. Simpson arrest on the horse. And I love how the ball at the end imitates the Oscars, and yeah, even voice of Joan Rivers, of course, is in there. May she rest in peace. But it's a great second movie. It's probably one of the best DreamWorks sequels. That's why it's at least an honorable mention on this list. And yeah, there's even a mid-credit scene, which I'm not going to give too much away, but it's great, it's colorful, it's joyful, great musical numbers. Not much to say there. But Shrek 3, yeah, forget about it. That's where the series went downhill. Kung Fu Panda 2, another DreamWorks sequel. Yep, and this one I'd say does just as great as the first, if not even better, because it, like the Shrek movie, it introduces the characters a lot more. It shows more backstory. It brings more action. After the success of the first movie, which was not only great but funny, it was also glorious and just wow, fascinating as ever. I mean, who would have thought Jack Black as a freaking panda learning Kung Fu can be such a big hit movie by DreamWorks, and this one is certainly no exception either. It's not only funny and action-packed and glorious, but it's also tear-jerking at some moments too as well, if you get my point. It explains what happened to his parents and everything, why he's where he is now, and I think it brings a great concept in, where his past may be sad and tear-jerking, but you know what? That's the overall theme here. Move on in life and, and look at what you have right now. That's really what the theme of the movie is. Inner peace. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Well, okay, yeah, a comic book movie, and this is a different one, and I didn't really know too much about this character, but I loved the first one, and it took many years for, well, a different studio to do the sequel. I don't know what's keeping the third one, but anyway, yeah, and I was surprised, because, yeah, it's just as funny, just as action-packed as ever. If you really can get this kind of humor. I know the villains are a little predictable and cocky, but I think this one holds up just as well as the first one, if not even better. Despicable Me 2. Yeah, well, the Minions were back in this second one, and I don't think I have to give this one a full review, because, well, I already did back in 2013, and yeah, of course there's a third one on the way. I just hope they're not milking this cow too hard for this one, especially after the, well, decent Minions prequel. But I'd say this was a great continuation. Gru is trying to, live a normal life of not being a supervillain, obviously, because he has 3 adopted daughters, and basically he's forced in to take on another villain, and I think it does a great job with it. The humor's great, the animation's nice and colorful, a little bit cutesy and silly, but I think that's what these movies are known for. The Minions are just as funny as ever, and I think it introduces new characters which are just as likable, and yeah, definitely great. It's great to see something that's not DreamWorks, it's by Universal, that's actually really good. And yes, it even got a ride at Universal Studios theme parks. Yeah, how great is that, right? 22 Jump Street. A comedy sequel, that's good, right? Surprising, right? Yeah, it's not very often you see these. But this one, after the surprise hit of 21 Jump Street, yeah, this one surprised me just as much. Again, jokes may seem a little recycled, but they move on, obviously, and they hinted at the end of the first one that they're going to go to college and try to take on, another drug dealer case. So, yeah, lots of hijinks, lots of, raunchy humor, and, yeah, another, scene that's really, a mind-screwing up scene and all that stuff. But I think there's great humor, new stuff that's introduced, and Again, might seem a little recycled, but I think it's just as worth the watching as the first one is. If you don't like it, then I respect that. That's why it's only an honorable mention. Expendables 2. Yes, I enjoyed the first one. It's obviously not going for a Best Picture winner. It's obviously a tribute to 80s style action movies. Why? Because, of course, they bring all these big action stars in there. Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Mickey Rourke, and, well, obviously he's only in this one. He doesn't come back for the sequel, but I guess I did enjoy this one. And it has some, pretty cool action sequences. It's a little bit of Rambo mixed in there with some other action movies like Die Hard. You got Bruce Willis in there and so forth. You even got a cameo out of Arnold Schwarzenegger, even though it's just for like 30 seconds and so forth. But a lot of the action, a lot of the puns are pretty funny, and it's, just a good popcorn flick for anybody who grew up during the 80s and enjoyed these kind of movies. Most of it's on like, tropical island, there's explosions, shooting, and as I said, a lot of puns. But one thing, it's obviously only the first one is directed by Sylvester Stallone, so a lot of it does focus too much on him. It doesn't give a lot of screen time to other actors. I mean, it does plenty, but too much, I think, around him. And a lot of the blood scenes, I think, are just way too digital, and there's a lot of close-up shots, and sometimes it just gets a little clunky on the action sequences. But the second one, oh boy, we knew this one was going to be great. And yes, the plot's a lot more simpler. Again, it's not going for a Best Picture winner. It's just good popcorn entertainment. I mean, this one gives all the other actors, more screen time. The puns are funny. Even at the beginning, when they're driving through with the tanks, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis have a lot more screen time. They even exchange puns from one of their movies to one another, like I'll Be Back and Yippee-Ki-Yay and so forth. It's just really a lot of fun, and yeah, it's great. The action scenes are a lot more improved this time around. I mean, they get very creative, and yes, obviously they even bring new casts in this movie, like Liam Hemsworth, who, spoiler alert, of course, gets killed off, and that's the whole plot of the movie, is to go after his killer after they witness his murder, and, well, free all the enslaved people that are under this guy's, enslavement, and obviously, take him out. So, yeah, it's just good plain fun, and that's what it's all about, really. So, and, yeah, even Chuck Norris is in this. I mean, it couldn't get any better than this. Sorry to say, but even though I really did anticipate the third one, and I know I haven't reviewed it, I didn't enjoy it as much. It wasn't terrible, but seriously, dumbing it down to a PG-13 rating, that didn't help a lot. Mel Gibson wasn't really the best choice villain. Wesley Snipes was pretty cool, and Ronda Rousey was pretty badass, but I'm sorry, the action sequences, you can easily tell it's a PG-13 rated film. I only hope if they do a fourth one that they don't make this same mistake, but otherwise, all I can say is stick to the first two, mainly this one. So, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Unless the fourth one can actually do just as good, which I kind of will find hard to believe, but otherwise, if you're a fan of 80s style action movies, this is the one you definitely can't miss out on. And the number one best sequel, or other best sequel on this list, I should say. Just my opinion, people. Captain America: Winter Soldier. Oh yeah. Now, you probably knew this one was coming, right? After all, I did review it right after it came out in 2014, and all I had to say was, wow, I did not expect this one to be this good. I mean, after the first one was really good too, being that it was the first Avenger, even though it was the last of the whole Avengers movies, of each character, and this one delivered even more. Yeah, it's obviously a little slow at the start, and obviously it's about Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, after he was thawed out, and after, obviously, the fence of the big Avengers Get-Together movie, which was a big hit, not a surprise hit, but it was great. And he's trying to, still adjust to the modern world, and that's a really good concept. I liked it, how he's trying to, because it's a different world from the 1940s, World War II era. Everyone's grown old that he knew and loved, and, yeah, and obviously he has to take on a new enemy, which is basically a reincarnation of Hydra. So, does a great job with that, and as well as Black Widow's in here, as well as introducing the Falcon. The action scenes are really where this movie shines, as well as character relationships and everything, and not to give too much away about the Winter Soldier himself, it's pretty relevant and it works out to a great consent, you know? It's a great movie and it's one of those best frenemy type of moments right there, I should say, not to give too much away, but it does an excellent job. Action up the ass, it is just great. Not much to say. The Winter Soldier is probably one of the best Avenger movies ever made. Well, until Civil War came around, but that's also great, but I think maybe just a little too much going on in that one. I feel this one just gets right to the point, and it doesn't sidetrack itself with too much in it. But that's also great too, but I like this one personally just a little bit better. So, that's my list, people. All I can say is comment, do whatever you want, but please refrain from negative and especially obscene comments on this list. It's just my opinion, so till next time, keep watching.